December the 8th, 2017. This was the day I arrived in Mizoram, a land I now call my home. However, on this day and time, that feeling was far from reality. I was tired, sad, and most of all confused. I remember so clearly the argument I had with Dad on our way home to Azul. I didn't come here to settle or join the ministry. I came here to do business, and in a year's time, I'll be going back. As you can imagine, those words did not sit well with my family. Let me rewind a little further to shed some light to the situation. Prior to coming to Mizoram, I was living in our Birmingham home for about 6 months without my family. We had a settled life in the UK, and more than 10 years of our lives were spent there. Now, for those that don't know me too well, my parents were missionaries, so I grew up in different parts of India. We also moved to the USA and England because of Dad's further studies. I never got accustomed to our mother culture or our state. I had dreams and visions of what I wanted to accomplish and who I wanted to be, and living in Mizoram was far from what I ever wanted. I remember clearly the phone conversation I had with Dad when he found out everyone had decided to move to Mizoram, except for me. He asked me to fast and pray and reconsider my decision. I had been fasting and praying every Friday for the past 3 years, but on that day I decided not to fast anymore. I didn't want to hear what God wanted to say. I had already made up my mind. I just didn't see any reason why I should leave everything, my job, education, friends, boyfriend behind, to go to a place I barely knew. I had always been an obedient daughter, and our family is a very close-knit one. So the decision to stay behind on my own was a bold and radical one for me. It was my first time staying without my family, and though I missed them daily, I dreaded talking to them in fear that they might try to change my mind. However, everything was about to change in just a course of a month. One Sunday evening during our church service, my pastor's words just struck me. He said, "If there is anything hanging over you that you haven't done but have been meaning to do so to grow spiritually, let's try and do that this coming week." There was no doubt in my mind what I had to do. I needed to fast and pray. So the next day, I decided to do exactly that. Monday night before going to bed, I knelt down on my knees beside my bed and prayed. I said, "God, lead me wherever you want, whether it's here or Mizoram, but you know my desire is to stay here." I kept quiet and waited for an answer. After a while, I heard a clear voice in my mind saying, "You need to go home to Mizoram." I was shocked to say the least, so I asked again, "Is that really you? If it is, I need a clear sign." I knew in my heart that it was God's voice, but I just couldn't accept it. I went to the bathroom and I cried and cried, thinking about all the things I would have to leave behind. I won't go into much detail, but that week I received clear signs from God that I had asked for. The house we had been trying to sell for the past 6 months suddenly had a buyer. I knew this was it. It was time to say goodbye. I told all my close friends, church members, and family about my decision. I was working in a few places, so that week I resigned from all my jobs. I booked a ticket back to India and packed all my belongings. I had just finished my hairdressing course, so I thought I might be able to do some work in Mizoram whilst I was there. So I filled my luggage with hairdressing products and tools. I didn't know why I was going. I just knew it was where God was calling me. So fast forward a month later, there I was in the car with my family having this conversation. Little did I know that this was the start of an amazing journey I was about to embark on. The call I received from God was unraveling before me daily. I was traveling almost every day to unknown villages. I went from staying in five-star hotels to sleeping in unknown homes, and from luxurious double beds to the floor with a leaking roof and chickens roaming around. I made some very difficult decisions, went through heartbreaks, and was challenged in so many ways, but God's goodness still outweighed them all. I've met so many wonderful people and made lifelong friends. I've seen miracles, healing, and lives being transformed. I stood and fought for what I believe is right. I preached about God's love, His healing, His desire for justice, and most importantly, about His kingdom here on earth. I have spent most of my life sharing the gospel to people of different ethnicities, but this calling has been a chance to come back to my roots and have impact amongst my own people. It was my new beginning. What an amazing journey it has been, one that will never be forgotten. My journey in Mizoram has been one of the most fulfilling and exciting times of my life, and I wouldn't have chosen it any other way. So here I am now, looking eagerly towards the many more adventures that is yet to unfold.